Hey, this is Jim Cardona from Cardona Pinball. Just wanted to give you a few of my quick impressions of Jaws pinball machine. What we got right here is the Pro version. Again, I'm at the Delaware Pinball Collective, and as you can see, we got like 50 machines here. If you're ever coming down 95, pass through Delaware, come check us out. Anyways, a couple things I wanted to point out. So one of the things I really like, so I've said this before, for me, like I have a lot of two flipper games, but what I really like I've had so many two flipper games and the similarity, I really like a three flipper game because it adds a lot of variety to it. And this game has that, right? So you got the two main flippers at the bottom, you have this one mini flipper up here. The one thing that's cool about this mini flipper is when it's up, if a ball comes down here, because of that post that's right there, you can trap a ball right there. So you can kind of hold it, and it gives you more time to aim for your shot. And the things that you're going to want to hit, you have 3 targets here. There's actually a lane right here that goes around, or with this mini flipper, you can actually hit this shot and make it go all the way around. So there's actually quite a bit of variety there. Another thing that some people who haven't really noticed is this gate that's right here. And there's an arrow and there's a post. So kind of like, I have a Centaur and it has that, but Centaur has the real big plastic one that makes it a little bit easier to go through here. Whereas this one, in my experience, you really have to hit the machine pretty hard to get it to go through there. A couple other things real quick is it has 3 ramps. It's kind of misleading, but because there's no shot that goes all the way around. Almost every pinball machine you play has this shot that goes all the way around. This one doesn't. So if you shoot this, which would have been normally the lane, that actually ends up being a ramp that comes around this way. Then you have the same thing with this one. This would have been like an inner loop. There is no inner loop. It goes and then there's an up. It goes up through this up thing and back through this ramp. And then this one right in the front where it has another loop where it says North Beach that comes through here. So it's kind of a little bit deceiving for some people who normally play. Another thing I want to point out is, this being an L1 game, I'm started to, after so many L1 games have come out, I feel like you kind of know what an L1 game feels like or looks like, just because there's a lot of similarities in his game. So for example, this ramp over here, or this lane over here, kind of really reminds me of Bond 60th, and the fact that when you shoot that and it comes down, it goes really, this is really smooth. It goes straight down here and right to the flipper really fast. The other thing is the way the ramps are, with the curviness and the different directions that are a lot different than what we've seen in the past couple decades of pinball. They have a lot of feel like Jurassic Park or Godzilla, which are 2 of his other games. The other thing, the pop bumper down at the bottom. So it definitely feels like one of his games, and I really like it. I only have about 5 games on it so far. I'm going to play another one right now. All right, this is the best I've been able to do, 193 million, and I don't know. Now I got more like 10 games on it. Come back another day, finish off this video. Yeah, so first initial thoughts. This game is solid. This game is really good. I mean, the other day somebody said that L1 is the only sure thing in pinball right now, and I think there's some truth to that. That when you buy one of these L1 games, especially for like a route operator, you're taking some risk. A lot of times, route operators are buying games without playing them first. So far, his games have been great. Some people complain that it's early code. There's a couple of things that I don't like about it, but everything that I can say that I don't like are all things that are fixable in code. The Playfield layout is great. It has like a fan layout feel. I would call it almost a modified fan because you do have the little mini flipper, but it does have something of a fan layout feel, which like if you own a lot of games already, you're probably like myself. I think I have 5 or 6 2 flipper fan layout games. That's kind of like too many, almost. So like if you're in that situation, that's the only caution I would say as far as the playfield layout. As far as things that I'd like to see that are better, I'd like to be able to skip the cut sequences, like when the ball's being held and then it shows you some animation. Those are cool the first couple times you see them, or even if you're playing like a more casual game, a slower game. But sometimes, like when you're really into it, you want to be able to skip those, and you can hit, most games you can hit the flippers and it'll bypass that. So that's something they haven't done yet. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll add that. It exists on all their other games, so it just hasn't added yet. But I do like, I like something that at first I thought I wouldn't, which was the very long video sequences. Like, for example, when you first start the game, they have this really long sequence where they're showing you the car driving into town, and if you don't flip or plunge the ball, that thing's got to be, I bet that's almost a minute long. That's crazy long for pinball. But but you can plunge the ball and blow right past it if you want. But I think it's cool. And the same thing with the end sequence. Like when I was just playing that for a second, the game had just ended, and they sing that slow lullaby song. Totally different than anything you've seen in pinball. It's where you're using that in, like most games, they try and get in everything's intensity, and this game kind of balances that, where it is a lot of intensity, but there's some other things that are not. Some of the funny quotes from the movie are in there, which I like. I heard some quotes that kind of sound like, I guess the main character is supposed to be Quint, who's the guy who hunts the fish, and but there are some more pinball-esque quotes that are associated with the pinball game, and so I'm thinking they must have hired either they hired Quint and he's older because the voice sounds a little bit different, or they got somebody to imitate him. But I think I'm not sure which way they went with that, but it sounds close enough to me. I think it was well done. The only complaint, I don't have any complaints, but I had just a suggestion, which is, instead of I'd like to see more people getting eaten by sharks in the cut sequences. Like if I'm supposed to make a shot, I'm on a timer and the timer runs out, somebody needs to get eaten. That's my opinion. Somebody needs to get eaten by a shark, because that mode ended and I didn't make it. Which they're not quite doing that yet. And I don't know if that's just, I know in the older games they used to have like a family-friendly setting and an adult, a non-family friendly, or like an adults-only setting, and they would. This was like a Williams things where you could get like profanity. Like a Demolition Man was one of the ones that I had that had that option, where you could have profanity or you could set family-friendly. No Good Gofers had that as well, where the Gofers wouldn't be so confrontational. If you had it on the family-friendly setting. Maybe that's something you want to do here. Maybe you say, okay, well, if it's family-friendly, we're not going to have the people get eaten by sharks, but we could turn that on or off. Just a suggestion. But so far, I'm really liking this game. I think this might be, this is definitely a contender for me to get in, because, I can play it at any time because it's right here. It's at the club. So for me, I really got to super, super love a game to also buy it so that I can play it in my house, because I'm here a lot. And I'm playing here. I can play it. Like same thing like Godzilla, which is right over there. Godzilla is a great game. I mean, if I didn't have this club, I would have bought one. But I could play it here. So I'm still, I don't know. I might buy one of those. That game is so good. But Jaws, I think it's probably going to turn out to be something like that. Not sure about the premium versus the pro yet, because I haven't had a chance to play the premium. But so far we have the pro here, and I'm really liking it. It's all positive.